Hello, everyone. Welcome to a day on Guinea's planet. This is me, Shweta, with Guinea from Guinea's planet, and Shruti, all the way from Chennai, Goli Soda Store. Hi, Shruti.
Hi Shweta, hi Ginny.
Hi. So, people who are here, you already know that we are here for a conversation with Shruti on sustainable living and also a peek into Shruti's home. Shruti is founder of Goli Soda Store and an award winning filmmaker and passionate about sustainability, which is why she's here, definitely. Uh, so, before I go further, Shruti, I've shared a bit about you. Would you like to share more with the audience about yourself?
I think you've covered most bits about it. I think I'm a person like anybody who's living on planet Earth, and my journey towards being empathetic towards the planet is a constant endeavor. And yeah, I'm a child of this planet, like all of us.
All right, that's a very different kind of introduction, but great. Uh, Shruti, few days ago we visited your kitchen and saw it. Of course, we visited online only. That was Guinea's first visit so far away into your kitchen. But our audience has not seen your kitchen. So maybe for the audience, we'll just take them to your kitchen first so that we can have conversation soon after, right?
Sure.
Okay, so audience, we're just going into a break, and after that, you will see some clips from the conversation that we had with Shruti in her kitchen. And then, you're going to come back to the studio and we're going to talk about more from there. Maybe we can first begin with the basics, which is what is sustainable living, because Guinea also needs to understand all that.
See, because you're in the business of empathy, let me put this simple. Sustainable living is being empathetic towards the planet, empathetic towards nature, empathetic towards animals, and empathetic towards our fellow human beings.
That sounds like a lovely definition and very close to what Guinea's Planet would also say. All right. So we are standing in your kitchen, Shruti, and I know that we're also very curious to know how your journey started. But before that, we will keep asking you questions because Guinea is also very curious. But what is the first thing that we should learn from your kitchen about, small steps into sustainable living?
See, my kitchen is just one aspect of my life, and I'm sure of yours, and anybody else. And my advice or my little thoughts that I tell people whenever I meet and when we talk about sustainability is that don't be in a haste to be sustainable. It's not going to be easy. It still isn't, even for somebody like me. And I've been constantly reading and trying to, see how minimal my impact can be on the planet. But us being humans in this day and age, it is a difficult way to completely be, say, go zero waste or 100% sustainable. It's impossible. If we are humans living in a city, you are going to have some amount of impact on the planet. I think we first need to start accepting that and take baby steps. I think that would help everybody make the transition into a more empathetic way of living easier than just deciding one day to wake up and say, today I'm going to go zero waste. That's going to be very difficult. So here is my kitchen. It's relatively new. We just moved in here a year ago and yeah, so if you can see, actually, most of the utensils that I have here are very old. It's almost over 40 years old because when I moved in, I told my mom, please don't get me new vessels. I'm not going to buy new vessels. Please give me whatever you're not using. So even something like this pot here, I think my mother got it for her wedding and we are using it. So that's first step. Uh, Reduce or don't buy. And most of the things here, it might not look, state of the art, but I like things old anyway. So everything here, most of the things here are very old hand-me-downs from my mom or grandma. So that's the first step. I like this little half facade way of keeping the essentials here. As you can see, I've not bought typical jars to put things in. I've just reused whatever jars came with things that you used to buy. So this is a half facade way. There, that section you might not be able to see properly, but I'll show you. There's a whole set of similar looking bottles, similar brands, because over time I've just been collecting them. So if you want to neatly arrange similar looking kind of storage, there is this option, or you can even swap with a friend about, hey, I have this brand of bottle, say a jam that I bought, and I have multiple bottles like these. I just need two more, and you seem to have. So that's an interesting way. So if you don't like a half facade way like this, there is that. I've seen some do-it-yourself sites that actually put chalkboard paint over these bottles, and you can name it so that each time you change the grocery that goes in, you can change the name so you have them all identified. So that is one step. Um, we have our own Koli Soya veggie bags. So we go shopping with this. We store them either in our fridge and keeps our fruits and vegetables fresh. So that's this. And coming to
So Shruti,
so
considering that there are so many things and so many strategies that you already talked about. One thing is, of course, the first step you said was reduce. Um, and so I'm just curious to know that reduce, is that something that occurred to you at some stage in life and you felt that now we should live like this? Like what triggered all this for you?
for me, it was relatively easy because I hated shopping, unlike most people. And my mom was a good example in the sense she hated clutter at home, and she always wanted to, have minimal things. Like if you go to her place now, it's extremely minimal. You don't have extra decor or anything like that, and she makes sure, like if she either gives away or declutters very often the house. So maybe it's that, but at the same time, to be honest, my I don't have any great needs to want to shop or buy new things. That was something in me from a young age. Also, maybe being the second born, I was always given a hand me down from my sister, whether it was clothes or jewelry or anything like that. So I guess those things were inborn in me. But I guess I do see many people around. I think the pandemic kind of has woken them up to start, accumulating less things, because I heard many people who own designer bags and shoes and clothes for over a year, they never got to wear them. And, they were just lying around, and so they were giving away. This dress, if you have to see, is actually an old sari of mine. I wore it a few times. The sari is about 15 years old, and I worn it a few times. And how much more saris can I wear? So I wear more dresses and salwars. So I made it into a dress. So it's about being creative as well. So I'm okay converting my sari into a dress rather than going out and buying a new dress. That way, I've also given an opportunity to a artisan, a tailor who is able to make my clothes. So that is also sustainable, fair trade, giving livelihoods to people. That is also sustainable. It's not just about buying organic or chemical free or things like that.
Mm,
So going
mm,
local, supporting local businesses, that is also
right.
sustainable.
Right. And that's
And
a very
you can see,
distinct. Yeah.
I've also reused. Sorry about that. I've reused old, chipped tea cups. Can you show the
Okay.
camera there? So tea cups and some drinks that we bought, the bottles, I reuse them as planters. So it's
Mm-hmm.
about reduce, reuse, upcycle. So those are what I kind of it's about being a bit creative, I guess.
Right.
Also
Right.
to be sustainable.
Right. And you just
And
shared, Shruti, that it's also important to know like, how the thing is being made, where is it coming from, is it local, how these aspects also matter. Uh, I know that there is definitely more stuff from Goli Soda in your kitchen. Can you show us those and also tell us where and how it's being made, if you know?
so if you see, we use our own dishwasher bar at home, obviously, and something like our dishwash bar, we've been using it even for my baby from the day she was born. So if we had to wash her bottles or her, cups, spoons, and bowls, we could blindly use our dishwash bar because they're 100% natural. And the best part is it also has probiotics infused in it. So the probiotics is good for the waterways. When they go into the waterways, they help clean up the waterways. And it has no palm oil. We are very conscious about not using palm oil based products because palm oil is a huge source of rainforest depleting and of course the wildlife there as well. So our product is made use of coconuts, and from South India there's enough and more coconut trees. So we are very conscious where we source the ingredients of our products. They're all from locally sourced, handmade in very close in South India. So that way we provide rural employment. They are not machine made. Yeah, so we're very conscious about these things, and they don't leave any residue. So usually that's the concern, especially if you're using this dishwash for your children or the food we eat. You kind of indirectly ingest these chemicals. So that way it doesn't leave any residue. Rinses off fast. Um, yeah, and it's safe for our skin. I think we had many people during the lockdown who's, especially the men who landed up being in charge of the dishwashing side, they were all complaining about their hands getting dry. And so they really appreciated our dishwash bar. And we even have parents of young children, like say 3-year-old, 4-year-olds, where the parents are inculcating the Montessori method of learning, where they ask the child to rinse their own plates, wash their own cups. So they feel safe giving our dishwash bar to them because they know the chemicals are not harsh on their tender skins. So with that, then of course our coil scrubs. They are again made in South India in a belt where coconuts are very popular. So these are again handmade and stitched and completely. I mean, I remember going to my grandmother's house in Kerala where, I mean, now this is flattened and it looks like a regular scrub, but they used to just take one of those husks and wash dishes, and they even used, I think, ash to wash their dishes. So it is some of those learnings that has helped me, implement it in a motion for our own usage.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we use beeswax cloth to wrap our vegetables and fruits and to keep them fresh in the fridge, or even to cover our dishes instead of cling wrap. But right now, all of them have gone for wash. I found this online. These are these silicone kind of lids. They come in different sizes. They make great alternates to cling wrap. So you just have to keep it in the fridge. Something we use. And this is another thing that we. This is a tap adapter, which is available again in our.
So it was great to be in your kitchen, Shruti. With the a lot of care and love, the way you've like settled things, kept your jars, same looking ones, different looking ones, and how you've chosen spaces to be in your kitchen. Um, you were also based on the products and stuff that you're using in your kitchen. There's some questions that I think we need to have a longer discussion about. The first, I think, is going to be about soap and water. So one was that you were showing something that is attached with the tap, and you said that it saved water. What is that about, and does that really save water?
Yes, so these are what we have are these adapters to your taps, and there are two, three different types of it based on your needs. So what we have, what you saw in the kitchen, was a two-way adapter. So the whole purpose of these adapters is that they kind of restrict the amount of water coming off the tap, but the purpose of whatever you're doing, whether it's washing your hands or rinsing dishes, that aspect is not going to come down, because usually all our taps they bring water out in such huge force that most of it gets wasted. So these adapters kind of limit the flow, but at the same time spread the water enough for our usage. Um, so there are two kinds of it. So what you saw in the kitchen, you can either change it into a shower type of flow or like a spray kind of flow, and you can even swivel it. There are other kinds if you just want a spray kind or just need a shower kind. Those are also available. So we've kind of fitted these adapters not only in our kitchens, but also in our office washrooms and our home washrooms, or wherever there is a usage of a tap. So, especially now, since most of us are washing our hands more often than before, and being in Chennai, where during summers water is a huge issue, this is our small way of saving water.
All right, great. And the other thing was about soap. So, many times, so I've also used your soaps and I still use them.
Bar. So there's a difference between soap and bar based on
Yeah.
the pH value. So ours, we don't call it soap because the
Mhm.
pH value is such that it doesn't fall under the soap category. It's still, the pH is very safe for the skin and not harsh, unlike other brands, and that's why they are soap and we are bars.
That's good information, Shruti. I never noticed this. So I use bars from the
Yes, thank
all right.
you.
So the one that I use for my hair, they lather a lot, like they have many bubbles, and of course, I'm a regular user of those bars. But when I use the one for cloth, or for washing utensils, they don't have much lather. But I still feel that they clean things. But then, what do we say to people who say that there is not much lather in this and it must not be cleaning stuff? What do you say to those people?
See, what I can assure you is our products have no hidden ingredients. It's completely natural, and whatever little lather that you see out of using our product is because of the combination of saponified coconut oil and the probiotics in our bars. We make sure that we don't use palm oils at all, because palm oil, which is now present pretty much in any food or personal care products, is extremely harmful for the rainforest. They are the reason that they are getting depleted, and of course the wildlife in the rainforest as well. So we use coconut oil, and being from the south, coconuts are not a problem. Uh, I think we are coming from a, sorry about the noise outside. I think we are coming from a generation that is used to using chemical products. And we are so used to seeing these chemical based lather, and we assume that is the reason for the cleaning. But it's just an external way of showing that there is some activity happening. But our products are as good, and there are some advantages for not lathering that much, especially say your dishwash bar. Sometimes because your regular dishwash bars or soap or liquids, they lather so much that it takes a lot more water for it to rinse off, and they land up leaving residues. And this way, we can ensure that our products don't leave any residue, and it's safe because you're literally ingesting these products if you're using it to wash your dishes. The other reason also is because of the probiotics and the ingredients that we use. It is directly related to the kind of water that's available in your bathrooms or taps or at home. So if your water is hard, then it's hard because of all the minerals in the water. So with reaction to some of these ingredients, they kind of leave a residue on your hair, or mostly on your hair, and that's why initially you sometimes feel a little grimy or kind of a different texture. So that is because of the reason of the water and not because of our product. And we that's why we suggest most people to use like a mild acid rinse wash, like a after wash, or like a conditioner that after you use our bars. And when I say acid, you can not like a heavy acid, but something like vinegar or kombucha to rinse off, so it kind of pulls out the grime or the residue from the water and keeps your hair soft and fluffy.
All right. So I hope the audience is listening to all this, because I do understand that, like you said, we're used to, the generation itself is used to using a lot of chemicals. So like shampoo is part of daily life, and shifting even from like shampoo bottle to a bar is a huge shift, for many people. Uh, what do you suggest for people who want to do something for the planet, and who are keen to, but are still concerned about what to in terms of doing?
See, what we tell people is, we all are slowly being aware of being sustainable, but it is a lifestyle shift because unfortunately we were brought up in a very bad way about taking so much from the planet and not giving back. So, but it's not going to happen overnight, and you need to come in terms with that. You can't make your house zero waste or be 100% sustainable. You need to take baby steps, and that could inspire you to do a little bit more the next time rather than jumping into being zero waste overnight. um, I think the easiest and the most effective way is to just be mindful of your every action. Like, say, if you go shopping, if you pick up a product, just be mindful about where is this product going to go after use, or where is this packaging going to go after use. Or if you're cooking, be mindful. And I think it's a spiritual process eventually, once you're mindful, or and people like you who are teaching empathy, I think if you're aware of are you being empathetic, I think these are easy steps. And you can choose, because empathy also means you need to be empathetic to yourself. You can't do something that's very harsh for yourself, or a drastic change that kind of turns your house upside down and you can't handle it. So it's taking steps that is easy for you and for the planet. And that is one of the reasons why we started Goli Soda, because we wanted to give a product that is easy for use, but at the same time safe for you and the planet. And it's not like a lifestyle, drastic lifestyle change. These are small lifestyle change. So instead of picking up, say, a liquid face wash, you pick up a face wash bar, but the use is pretty much the same. It is as convenient. Or as you are a big fan of our shampoo bars, instead of a liquid shampoo, you pick up a shampoo bar. I'm not asking you to go through a very your nani or dadima style of saying putting Rita or something like that, which in a day to day rushed life it might be difficult. So that's why we put those ingredients into a bar and give you something that's easy to use.
Great. Thank you, Shruti. Um, so I'm just going to go back to another conversation. So you mentioned, when you started talking, when we were in your kitchen, you started talking about reducing and reusing. What are the other parts of this whole journey, that you would like to share with our audience?
See, while growing up, I think that was the time when plastics were coming in and people didn't realize the harm that we were doing. The effects were not obviously seen like how it is now. So we were all taught in school reduce, reuse, recycle, and it was like some mantra that you just said it blindly without actually understanding what it is. But I think now we've consumed so much that reduce, reuse, recycle is not enough. So it has to be refuse. You need to first think if you really need to buy something or not, or can you manage with what you have. Like especially now with all these social media ads popping up of different brands, and you're tempted to probably buy one extra dress or a handbag which you might not probably use. So I think refuse is the first step. Reuse, recycle, repurpose, upcycle, recycle, and compost. There is yes, pretty much anything can fall now into the whole chain that you need to look into, and it's only in the last stage because people think recycle is still good, but the truth about recycle is it takes up as much water and energy to complete that process, and eventually the product that you get after recycle is actually not a quality that is as good as the first quality, so it's actually a down cycle. So if I still um, recycle a plastic bottle and it's made into a toy, but the quality of that plastic toy is far worse than the plastic bottle, and it can't that plastic toy can't be recycled again because it's been done to death, that process. So we need to be aware of those things. We need to be equipped with the right information, and I keep telling people now in this day and age it's great that we all are aware of sustainability or being eco-friendly, because when we started our store way back in 2013, nobody understood what we were doing, and we had to have so many workshops and events to make people understand. Now we don't have to do that, but there is also that risk of being greenwashed easily by bigger companies, people with bigger money who are going purely by trend and not by knowledge. So I think the only way that we won't be greenwashed is to be equipped with the right knowledge. So I think that is also important in this whole cycle of things.
Right. That's an important message, because I know that like in the market now there are definitely many products coming in saying, this is environment friendly, this is so eco friendly, like is getting attached to almost everything that
Yes.
we see, although we don't know much about what has happened in the process. And I remember you did say also last time in your kitchen that that where is the source and is it local, and then focusing on that is also important.
Yeah.
So can you share about like in Goli Soda only, where are like who all and where are these products being made that are available on your shop?
See, so the products manufactured by Goli Soda, us being in Chennai, South India, we make sure that most of our products come closer home from Tamil Nadu itself. So whether it's our coir scrubs, our pencils, newspaper pencils, and our full probiotic range of products, we also ensure that the ingredients for these products are as locally sourced as possible. Um, and definitely within India. We are not importing or anything like that. And I say as locally sourced because of the seasonal issue of, or some kind of products can't be possibly grown, say, in South India. We might have to source something from, say, Gujarat or Rajasthan based on the environmental conditions there. But we still ensure that we source these products purely within India and as local as possible. And most of our products, or almost all of the products that we manufacture, are handmade, so that we ensure that we give more employment, especially in the rural sector, because these products are made in the rural areas. So we provide rural employment. Invariably, most of the people employed land up being women, which in turn we hope empowers their family as well.
Okay. Also now moving back to your kitchen. So you were also showing us stuff that is years old, like years, like decades and decades.
Some as old as me or older.
So what is the oldest thing that you have in your house?
Very hard to say because my husband's also a very big antique fan, so he goes
Okay.
hunting for old things. So, including the furniture at home,
Mm.
uh, we've we've been lucky that they've been hand me downs from the family. Some of them could go up to even 70 years or more. Um, so we've hardly bought any furniture. As I said, you saw in my kitchen, my mother was very upset because when typically in a traditional family, the daughter is also sent with a trousseau of, you know, kitchen wares and things like that. And I said, no, no, no to everything. I said, everything has to be your hand me down. You're anyway not using, because my mom at that time felt they were all old fashioned, some of the vessels that she had or she got from her wedding. And I said, these look so cool. I'm okay using them. And yeah, so and most of the things at home, even the things for my daughter, even when she was born, it was mostly hand. Like people were surprised, oh my god, she's your only daughter, and why aren't you buying all these cute frocks or gifts or toys? I said, this is more than enough. We've got lovely people around us handing me down their things. It has a little bit story. Some of them were, even the hand me downs were over 14 years old because it came from my nephew, and my sister had kept them also neatly. And we continue to not buy much for her. Like we have a group of friends. We kind of swap things, whether it's books, toys, clothes. So we kind of swap, even if they are in the same age, so that they don't get bored of their toys or books. So we have such system where we make sure that we don't um, you know buy too much, especially for kids, because they grow up very fast and they outgrow things. So yeah, so we this is how we live. Some people around us get embarrassed, but we are not. We are quite proud of the way we live, and we don't feel shy about asking people, like if you have a hand me down, even like a car seat or something like that. But the good thing is we've realized that eventually you will create your own circle. So in the initial days, we thought we were the only ones doing this, and some people felt odd that we were saying it's okay, you give us your own stuff, and they didn't understand why. But over time, we realized there were few other parents like us who believed in our values, and now it feels like home. It feels normal to say, hey, you know what, I'm giving you this. Can you give me that? And I'll keep this for a while if you don't mind. She's still into this toy, or she's outgrown this, would you like to take it if you don't mind? So it's become normal now, and that's the thing about sustainability, and that's how it was for me in my journey as well. Initially I thought I was doing this alone. I was researching, I was going, finding things, or learning about things, and the universe just sends you these people and friends who also have similar thoughts, and you kind of exchange ideas, and you all grow together in this journey.
Great. So I hope, like you, everybody finds that circle where you can swap and exchange and ask very comfortably as to what can be exchanged. Um, thank you so much, Shruti, for sharing so much from your life and from your kitchen and from your home and of course from Bodhisora store. Uh, I'm sure the audience watching this would have taken a few tips or suggestions. I'm sure many of them are already trying out a few things and are eager to know more. So, before we close, are there any specific sites or any resources that you would like to suggest if somebody wants to embark on this journey and wants to read more about it somewhere? Are there any spaces which are like credible according to you where one can go and read?
You can definitely follow our blog. Some of them are not updated yet. Let me be honest about it, but there is enough content for you to, look back and catch up on things. To be honest, I have not followed much nowadays because I'm also kind of weaning myself off social media as much, and I'm also in a different space of learning. I mean, I'm going into a little bit more of hardcore stuff, which might be too much for beginners now. Uh, but one thing I can say that there are a lot of Insta influencers that you can follow. Unfortunately, there is a lady called Bani Murthy on Instagram. You can follow her. She was, in fact, one of my initial inspiration to start composting at home. She was one of those people way back 10 years ago who was talking about this kind of a lifestyle. So she has some fun videos about what she does at home, whether it's interesting traditional way of cooking, her terrace garden, composting. So she's a fun lady to follow. But as I said, I know her of being this so-called influencer way back before it was even Instagram was around. So I know she's honest. She knows what she does. There are a lot of others, I'm sure. But you just need to be wary when you follow these people. Again, as I said, they could be doing it for trend. They could be doing things for just to get followers. So you just need to, do a little bit of homework and look back at all their posts, whether it truly resonates and they truly have the knowledge about being sustainable and not blindly follow. That's the advice I would tell most people. But if you do need to read articles, very simple, step by step ones, I would really invite you to read our blog. We have some very simple, straightforward things that anybody can implement in their day to day life.
Right, right. And I've read a few, so I know that it's a, to the audience, I can tell you that if you're wondering whether to start off with cloth pads, what might happen, you can read Shruti's written one blog post on it. If you want like simple ways, things that you can do as a beginner, there is one blog post on that as well. Cloth bags, composting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. So that could be a starting point for sure. And of course, Shruti has already suggested you one person that you can explore, follow, and see what else is happening. Thank you so much, Shruti, and thank you everybody for being here. Now, the next session is starting at 3 crochet for beginners. So we look forward to having you there and creating some beautiful stuff together as beginners, of course, but still. Thank you. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye, Shruti.
Bye.